Welcome to episode 3 of Socialites podcast with me, Gustav Hultgren, as your host. In this series of program, we interview persons of interest with connection to Ukraine in order to inspire and inform our listeners about businesses that our members are active in. We are always looking for interesting people to interview in this series, so if you do have someone you want to recommend, please make sure to contact us. You can find our details on socialite.nu. In today's episode, we sit down and talk to Guillaume Verbeq, owner-manager of Manger, Kiev. Manger is a major producer and distributor of ducks and duck meats across Ukraine. And Guillaume talks to us about the challenges of working together with local elite hotel and restaurants, farming procedures, and how it is to operate such a business in the country. We also cover sales and distribution, logistics, and of course, we touch on the culinary aspects of Ukraine and how this type of French products are being received in the country. We hope that you enjoyed the show, and please make sure to check in on socialite.nu where you can find all the updates and future interviews. So I'm sitting here together with Guillaume Verbeq, who is a high-quality food production expert here in Ukraine. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Gustav.
I think for the listeners, it would probably make sense for you to explain a little bit what brought you to the country, and then we can follow up with what it is specifically that you are producing.
Okay, so what brought me in this country? First, I have to say that I'm a big traveler. Before I was working in fully different industry. I was working for a company which name is AGS in the removal industry. I make 12 years with this company, which brought me first in Moscow, then in Madagascar, then in Czech Republic, then in France, Toulouse and Paris. And I was key account manager in this company. What brought me here is I get some relative here, where with some link, because this relative comes due to me because he was also working in the removal industry, and he arrived in Ukraine like in 2002, and for this industry. Then he built some companies, and he grew up. He's there since 10 years. He knows quite well the country, and me, I get in 2010 some change in my personal life, which make me to desire to leave France and to breathe outside a little bit. Yeah. So it's why I arrived in Ukraine. So it's a quite long story. I try to make short, and that's it. So I arrived 2 years ago in Ukraine. I like the sales, but I like also the good food. When I was working in my previous industry, one of my favorite pleasure was to make good restaurant and to share good restaurant with my client. And here I get the opportunity with my relative to work in the food industry, and it's why I'm working in this sector now.
Because you have a farm that produces duck meat. Well,
exactly. We have I have a farm which is producing duck meats with the French quality standard of production. In France we have some standard that we call red label, which means with not organic kind of meat, without any antibiotics, and with some maximum duck per square meter. And so we are producing some duck on these standards. Our main clients are the high quality distributor like Good Wine, for example, and the high level restaurant and hotel.
How many ducks do you produce in a year? Can you say produce? I don't know if it's the right.
Here we say we speak by months because I have a partnership with my cousin, and right now we will make 6,000 duck per month.
Wow.
It's 70,000, which is small. In this industry, is small. If you compare to chicken, there is the chicken industry where they are producing like 200,000 per, and even much more per year. So we are a small farm. But so it's not very intensive farming. But if you want to make very intensive farming, you lost in quality, and that's not our target.
So you're really targeting the high-end type of restaurants and hotel restaurants. And of course, you're selling also in retail, and as you said, through Good Wine, for example.
And I also start to sell our products directly to the private person through company, not because it's also good to promote the brand. I create my brand, which is Bien Manger, and I'm also in additional products of my ducks, which is my production. I try to find some Ukrainian suppliers which are respecting my high quality standard of products, and to increase my offer. And right now, for example, other products I'm offering to my clients, it can be jams. I have jam with very interesting perfume, also without any conservants and things like that, which are, I think one of the best of the markets. And I'm also in touch with some production of like tarts, like lemon and meringue tarts and carrot cake, that kind of products. I mean, also in touch for candies right now.
Candy, okay.
Yeah, good candies.
All right. How do you find operating on the Ukrainian market in terms of relations with your suppliers, both, I guess, and also with the distribution?
Ukrainian market, it's quite complicated regarding administrative point of view. I have a partner, which is my partner is working with me, my cousin, as I tell. And it takes care more of this part, but it's quite complicated. All the veterinary, ecological, all the administration, Ukrainian administration are not simple. And so that's some parts, some aspects, but after it's something which is possible to manage. With clients, after we have to promote, they are not used because the duck, it's not a product very, very common on the market. It's quite new. People are more used to chicken or pork in Ukraine, and so there is not many producers. And after high quality products, in fact, the best for the client is to try. We give some salt to try, and as soon as they try, in general, they understand that our product is great. And duck is a red meat, and in the Ukrainian market, red meat is not in great quality. To find good beef and good lamb, it's not very easy. So we are also in competition with other kind of meats, and we are higher than the lamb or the veal that we can find here.
Can you explain to me? I understand that you have both regular duck, so to say, and also Peking duck.
Peking duck, it's a duck which is used for the meat. It's not the duck which is using for the foie gras, and because foie gras is mullet, it's another type of duck which is a bit more big, and it's different kind of production. But the Peking duck is smaller, and is used also for by the Chinese for the canard laqué, for example. This duck is Peking, and it's a meat duck.
And what would you recommend someone that is new to a duck? What would you recommend in terms of preparation? What would be the first dish that someone should try?
After there is many things, but I think a product need to be without many sauce, just on the pan. For duck breast, you could put with big salt. In France we have good salt, but we can find. And just you screw the skin, because it's very fat skin, to make the fat coming out, and you make come on back on the pan, and with a bit of paper, and you have a very good thing. For me, I like the basic because the taste of the meat is great. After recipe with the duck, there is hundreds. For the legs, for example, which is a fat part of the ducks, I recommend to prepare confit. Confit, it's 3 hours of cooking with very low fire and with some big salt, also quite a lot of salt. And after the meat will be very, very tender, come out from the bone very easily. So that depends on which part. For each part of the duck, you can have different recipe. For livers, we can use do it with salads and vinegars, and not cook too much, because after the livers come dry. But there is hundreds. And one of my target, it's to explain to the Ukrainian people, because they have only one recipe. It's full duck with apples. I think it's the only recipe which is popular in Ukraine. And me, and I think I'm French, and I want to promote French gastronomy. And I try to explain that there is not only one way to cook the duck, and there is hundreds of recipes, and I try to educate the people how to cook it, because during communism, I think they didn't get access to all that kind of things, and I just want to explain what we can do.
Do you want to talk a little bit about how it is to work with the distribution side of things here? You know, when you approach companies and restaurants or hotels or whatever it might be here, as compared to when you're contacting companies in France, the business, the way of doing business differences, right?
I was working in the removal industry before, so it was expats. Here is a very small world. If you want to make business with the restaurant and the small world, so networking is quite important, and quite quickly, bouche à oreille, I don't know, in mouth to ear, I don't know what exactly
the word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth is very, very important. And that's it. After, with buyers, sometimes buyers, they are not always fully honest in Ukraine. Sometimes to get the markets, they want some spice. I will call some spice. No, but after, it's different. It's different. You see, in France, everything is quite clear. Here, it's not. It's a little bit, sometimes a bit more tricky. But it's not one game that we want to play. It's not our philosophy, and that's it. So after, we want to sell good products, but this kind of thing, it's not something that we want to do.
And what are your targets for the business? I mean, how big do you see the potential in the market?
But right now, the potential of the market, Kiev market is big enough for us. So, and we are far to cover this market. We are increasing our production, which is not easy, because to build a farm, to prepare, it takes some time. It's longer. It's some amount of investment, which is not very small, and so to grow it takes times. And after, there is other cities also, but the transportation logistic, because we are speaking about fresh products, is not easy, because to keep the fresh between cities is not always easy. I just know that we have not enough product for the market right now. So after, how it will grow, I hope as quick as possible.
Well, not having enough product for the market, I guess, is sort of a happy problem on the other hand.
But it's not, it's a happy problem, but to increase is not so easy also.
I think most people and most industries have been seeing quite a sharp deterioration in consumer spending, that is, since, I guess, mid-autumn last year. Mm-hmm. Is this something that has affected your market?
First, our company is quite new. It's 2 years. Mine is very new, and the one from my brother, when we are working together, it's 2 years. So the vision is still a new company. What we feel is our business is seasonal. So in summertime, duck is quite fat product. People are eating a little bit less. But after, in winter times or autumns, it's the demand is very high. And as is products that we not find new, the Ukrainians are curious also to try new products, because they was used to some kitchen and communists, and they are still in terms of gastronomy, they are still a very young country. So they have a lot of things to learn. And by the crisis, I don't feel too much impact, because, high class and middle class in Kiev, I speak, they still have money, and they still like good food. So after, I think it's not decreasing too much.
You mentioned that Ukraine is quite a young country in terms of gastronomy.
Yeah.
Do you find that people are taking your products here and making local variations of their old recipes?
Yeah, for sure. They are making, it's what I was telling before. Here they know the duck with apple, and they have good products. So after, it's good. After they are making good things also. After, I'm French, and I was used to my French gastronomy. At the beginning, it was a bit hard for me to find products that I want, because we are used to one type of product, and yours was not always easy to find. But after 2 years now, I start to know some good markets with interesting things like like fresh products or good porks. I think they are quite good with the porks in Ukraine, and but they are doing with my products. They are doing in what they know, but they are very curious to learn how to do in another way. Especially the women, they want to know how we can make new things, because they have the borscht, they have akryoshka, they have a lot of recipe. Ukrainian, I think, is not a bad country for gastronomy. There is a Ukrainian gastronomy, but they want to discover other things. They are quite curious, and it's what I want to share a little bit with them.
So how is it to live in Kiev as a Frenchman? Is there a large French community here that do things together?
No, it's a small French community. It's approximately 1,000 persons. Me, I am not always with the French community because my girlfriend is Russian, so I'm mixed. I'm not expat fully. I'm mixed in mixed situation. The expats. There is a lot of. It's quite good atmosphere in the French community, and they seeing each other quite often. They stay quite often in center in general. They not move too much in the country.
All right. You mentioned to me that you are also planning to do maybe some events here coming a bit further ahead in the year.
Yeah. It's but the target of my event will be to make my product discover with each time a new way of cooking. Duck is rich. You can have Asian recipe like canard laqué. You can have the French recipe. There is many different kind of things, and different parts of the duck which are not tasting the same. And as I tell you, I want to learn people, because even French people don't know always how to cook the duck. They know in Southwest the duck is really a product in France from southwest of France, in Toulouse area. In the north, to find duck is not very easy. It's it's quite regional. We have one region which is very specialized, and even if the duck is quite popular in France, but foie gras is very popular, for example. But the duck meat is very southwest things. So and I was living in Toulouse. I tell you that I lived 2 years and a half in Toulouse, so like the capital of the duck in France, Toulouse, a little bit. Okay. The target of my events will be to discover some new restaurants and new way, each time a different way to cook my products.
You mentioned that you don't use any antibiotics when you produce your products, according to the French classification. Do you find that people in the Ukrainian market are willing to pay premium money for high quality? Or is it a very, very short, narrow market for that?
I think people are sensitive to bio things. I see the market culture, Renoc culture is quite important, and they want to buy products, with not too many conservatives. They're very used to the fresh products. The way to sell the meat is quite bad in Ukraine. There is some good place, but it's scary. If you go, I don't know. I'm living in the Lukyanovka area. There is a meat market in Lukyanovka. It's not. When you are not used it, you see a huge part of meat with no fridge and things like that. It can be a bit scary. So the conservation of the goods. People are ready to pay. Are ready to pay for good products. I'm sure of that.
It seems to me that Ukraine is actually already, to a certain extent, a very ecological-minded market, as you mentioned, with the marketplaces where you can find the fresh produce, etc. Whereas we in Western Europe basically had to take a step back to refine our roots.
I'm agree with that. After there is ecology, Ukraine is an agricultural country. That's, I think, is one of the main business in Ukraine, even for foreigners. Investment is agriculture. it was like that since years because they have good land and that's it. After on cereals or something like that, it's intensive agriculture, I think. But yeah, people, I think during Soviet, people was used to get product from the village, good quality food from the village. There was the Sovkhoz, which was not always making good things, I think. But after there was a tradition of product of the village and product from the farm with small production, which stay. And I feel that Ukrainians are very sensitive to what they eat. They don't like chemicals and things like that. So, and they like to buy directly to the farmer. By some way, I have the feeling when I'm coming in Ukraine that people in the mind, they are like we was in France. I was not there because 40 years ago or 30 years ago. And people was used to this buying at the farm and things like that. But on the French market, this is coming back a little bit. It's, we was at the moment the supermarket with intensive production, with fruit, with nice marketing. I would say it's not marketing, but very nice look, but tastes like shit. That's in Ukraine. Sometimes they have not as the good look, but tastes are tasty. And I think even in France, we are coming back a little bit on that.
Is there some kind of certification for things like this here in Ukraine?
After there is we can have some certification. We are working to get the eco product label, but obviously it's some marketing here. It's not like in France there is some very strict rules to respect to get it. Here it's a bit it's not like that. But after we're making some tests on laboratory. That's it, because I can speak about one of our clients, Good Wine. All the products in Good Wine, they make tests before to order, and the tests on our products is excellent.
Is this someone that you would recommend us to interview?
Yeah, it can be interesting. I don't know. Was my first job. I was working for Vinolup, the French company. My first job when I come in Ukraine, I was not working with a duck. I was working for a wine company because foods and wine it's very associated. And there is a small wine company which name is Vinolup in Podol, and with a wine specialist which name is Olivier, and it can be interesting to discuss with him, and he will speak about the French wine.
Absolutely. Can you give me an introduction?
An introduction? Yeah, for sure. No problem.
Is there something that you could recommend to our listeners?
Something I will recommend. I'm a big traveler, so I will speak about one of my trips and that I did from Ukraine because it's quite easy destination. I will recommend to go in holidays from Kiev in Jordan, because Jordan is a really great country, quite small, with terrific nature, with good food, and with a lot of diversity. You can have some good water on the Red Sea, some interesting Dead Sea, some nice mountains, some deserts, and so in 15 days you will have some really good holidays. And the people are, in all my trip, and I think I made 30 countries in my life, it's one of the countries where the people are the most open and friendly.
I can only agree to that. I have been there myself, and it's a very, very nice country.
Yeah.
What would be your predictions for the next 3 to 5 years? Something that you think that will definitely happen? You want to? It's a little bit of a tricky question.
It's quite hard to plan the future, and after, if you are speaking about future of the world or future of Ukraine, I hope Ukraine will improve in terms of administration and things like that, because I think development is a bit slow because of administration system is not terrific. I think in 5 years it can change a little bit, and if they want to come in the European community, which I'm not sure. And right now, is it good to go in the European community? Because it's not also everything is not blue in Europe at the moment. I want to. I don't know. I have difficulty to plan how it will be here in 5 years, but I hope it will improve.
So thank you, Guillaume. This has been very interesting to hear about your project and your insights here into the market. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk to us.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's interview. If you have any questions to Guillaume or want to find out more about the duck meat industry in Ukraine or how you can buy products directly from the manufacturer Guillaume, please make sure to check in either on their webpage, bienmangerkiev.com, or you can, of course, get in contact with us through socialite.nu and we'll put you in contact with Guillaume. Thank you very much for listening, and we look forward to see you back on the page soon for more interviews.